Hello everyone, this is Kweku from Next Gen Windows, and this video is a little different. This video is just a brief introduction to me. I haven't really done any of this stuff at all, ever. I don't really show my face on my channel, you might recognize that. But this is me, this is what I look like, you know, with the crazy hair, you're gonna see that. You know, the Marcus Brownlee look that you probably are reminded of as soon as you see what I look like. And yeah, so this is basically all about me and a show and tell at the same time. So it's like a brief history of how I got into technology and how I got to doing what I do now. You know, I'm getting to 400 subscribers, which I'm very grateful for. I never thought anyone would watch a channel like mine. And what do you know, people are watching it now. So here we go. This is the beginning of the show and tell. I'm actually looking over there on my monitor because I'm recording from the microphone for my voice, and I'm also recording my face with this video camera over here. So yeah, so here's the show and tell. Now, my name is Kweku. My full name is Kweku Asafo J, or if you're from Ghana, you know it's Kweku Asafo J. You gotta have that J, you know, in that thing. So that is my full name. And I got into technology not like other people who got into technology. I got into technology the odd way. Now, my dad, he was always in his loft because my parents' townhouse. I have my own place now, as you can see around. You know, there's just clothes all over here. But my parents' townhouse, my dad would always be tinkering with a bunch of stuff. So he'd always be tinkering with his computer, his old work computer. He'd be adding like CD-ROM drives in it, and just boosting memory and stuff. I didn't know what any of that stuff was, so I just would watch him do that, and it just looked so cool that someone could just work and just, you know, do that stuff, and it'd be great because he works for the Food and Drug Administration. So, you know, he's not really around too much. He works like he leaves like at 7 a.m. and then he works and gets back at like 8 or 7:30ish. So that's how that would work. But I got into technology because of him, and then from him my brother got into technology. My brother ended up building his own computer from scratch, just buying the parts, putting them together, and then voila, he has his new computer. And then that's eventually, fast forwarding way into the future, how I got my computer over here that I record with, which I'll show in a separate video. And so yeah, that's essentially, you know, the influences of how I got into what I do now. And the next part is, I didn't really get stuff from my family. I mostly got clothes for Christmas, you know, the infamous, oh, I got clothes, I don't want clothes for Christmas, I want toys. Speaking of toys, segueing into that, you might not know this about me, but I actually like, you know, toys. I don't really like toys, but I like Legos, or Lego, that's what you call it. It's not Legos, it's just Lego, plural in both. And so, you know, I got into Bionicle. You can see a close-up of what we call here is I think it's Pohatu? No, that's not Pohatu. Oh, I forgot what his name is. I forgot what his name is. That's a major brain fart. But I got into toys and stuff. Let me see if I can lay him down here before he's, okay. Yeah, I got into toys, Legos. That's mainly what my thing was back in the day, was Lego, 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 Lego. I would get Lego sets for birthdays, Lego sets for Christmas. If from my aunt, get Lego sets. People knew what I wanted in the beginning because I just wanted Lego sets. I didn't want anything. That's the ice cream man. I didn't want anything else. I just wanted Lego sets. I didn't want clothes. I just wanted Lego, and that was it. And in elementary school, I found a friend that actually was interested in it too. And both of us, this guy's literally parked like right outside my window, but we both got into it. And we would end up bringing our crazy Lego creations, things that were even taller than what you just saw. We would both get into that. And we would bring it to the cafeteria at lunch in elementary school, and we just have fun showing off what we did. And it was a cool thing back then, because when you had Lego like that, most people didn't do that. Most people just ate their lunch, talked to friends, and then that went back to, and then you had to, you know, follow the leader back to class, back to you know, your classroom in elementary school. It wasn't like how it is now, where, you know, there's like, apparently you walk to your classes. But that's away from the point. Got into Legos from that, and then from there, Legos basically went from watching people doing stuff to Legos where you actually got to build your own things. It's not really technology, but Legos do have technology at tidbits now, like Lego robotics or something like that. Robotniks, or no, that's Sonic. But they have Lego things for it, Lego Technic and stuff like that. And so I got into that, and then later on, when I pretty much stopped once it got to 5th grade-ish. I stopped collecting Legos altogether, well, Bionicles for specifically altogether. And then it fast forward all the way up through high school. And once high school hit, then high school, that's when, you start getting into girls and all that stuff, and you just forget about all that stuff, all the geeky stuff. So that's pretty much how I was. I was playing sports, I was doing all that stuff. And again, my brother was in his process. That was 2007 when I started high school. And that's when my brother graduated from high school, my older brother. And so he was building his first computer at that time. I watched him do it. I talked to him about, like, what does this little chip that goes in your computer, what is that? And he's like, oh, that's the CPU that goes into your computer to power up things, and talked about the power supply and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, that looks so cool. And then I guess the reason why I started getting to technology from that is because I liked having, I was always into things like RPGs and building stuff. So I was always into all that stuff. I like to see when you take time to do something, your end result is something that you would never imagine. And that's what I like. RPGs, when you take time to level up your character from the basic little beginnings all the way up until the very end, you would, end up with like amazing character, like World of Warcraft characters that you work so hard to get to a level 100 on, and now they're amazing. They blaze through stuff. And that's how I got into that stuff. And, technology mainly is I liked that ideal aspect. And so fast forwarding further, about 2 years later in high school, sophomore, junior year, got my first job. I worked for a, not nursing home, but what is it called? Home health care. And I worked for a company called Harold Healthcare back in my parents' hometown. And I worked there for about 2 years after high school. Well, through high school, I had to take a medical class that was like $500, pay for it myself. And so I got my HHA license, which was a home health care license. So I was able to take care of kids, autistic kids. I mostly took care of autistic kids like my brother and other people, other families' kids. And so I made a lot of money from that, like $700 every paycheck. And of course, then I was like, my first paycheck, what do I want to do? What did I get for my first paycheck? I ended up getting an Android tablet, the Asus Transformer Prime. I ended up getting that tablet, and that was like the greatest thing in the world to me. I was like, because I got the keyboard attachment that went onto it, keyboard dock, and I had the tablet, and it was like the nicest Android tablet you could get at the time, Android 3.0 though. And so that was my first endeavor into technology. And then later on I got an iPad, and then I sold the iPad just recently. The iPad lasted about 4 years. It was an iPad 3, the first Retina display one. I got that one. And the iPad influence was because in about, I think my junior year of high school, junior year or like freshman year, I saw someone with an iPod Touch, the very first generation one. I had heard of it, but I could never afford it. And I always wanted to try it out. So I got the iPod Touch. I got to try out her iPod Touch in our health and fitness class in high school, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, and then I gave it back because it wasn't mine. So I got the iPad later on when I could afford it. So then that kind of got the impulse of buying technology, which gets really expensive. I don't recommend doing that, spending all your money on technology. Spend it on important things first. And then after that, I got into just everything in general, gaming and technology. So then my most recent tablet here, I have the Samsung Galaxy Tab S. You can see the camera right there. I got the Samsung Galaxy Tab S. It's really thin. Actually got notifications here, but it's really thin. It's like freakishly thin. In fact, here is a comparison to my Lumia 1020, which I'll talk about later. So you can see just how thin that tablet is, and it's just insane. So it comes with the TV tuner on it. I use that a lot. And it's really nice. Got a case on it. And then I also ended up getting, my first major gaming console was the Xbox 360. Obviously, it was in Microsoft ecosystem because my brother had it, and I had an Xbox Live account already that I would keep on restarting my Xbox. I would keep on making new Xbox Live accounts before I could afford getting gold, so I could get a free 1 month gold every single time. So, I could play online with my friends and stuff. But then way later on, I ended up getting a Wii U, which was pretty much in college, where I am now. Got my own apartment now. Got a Wii U, and then I started doing all this extra stuff. And the way the YouTube channel started was like in a dark time. My head was completely gone. Actually, come to think of it, I made a video about that. I think when anxiety attacks, or made something like that on this channel. You can check it out. It's not exactly about how I got to YouTube, but it's about, you know, the kind of craziness, dark places my mind was in at the time. And it basically revolved around, you know, a lot of family issues that were going on. And, you know, when you get the feeling that people are not listening to you and they're not paying attention to you, then you start getting into a dark, clouded place and no one can bring you out of it. And so I pretty much channeled all of those dark thoughts in my head. I even attempted almost suicide at one point. It was crazy. Never do that. Never do that. Please, just don't do that. If you need someone to talk to, you can contact me, but never do that. And so after that, I was like, all right, let me try to channel my mind into something positive. And so that's how I got into the whole Windows and making this YouTube channel. I channeled it into pushing out videos left and right about app reviews and app design. And you can see now, my reviews are not about, creating an app or how to code an app and how to do the technical things. My reviews are simply design based. So when you need to know how to mold an app into how it should look nice for user interface standards, then you would do that. I don't know why my camera's focusing here on my finger. Let me do that. But then you would just follow my review, and then from there you fix it. And then I noticed the developers, their attention went up because they fixed those things that I found in their app, almost like peer reviewing. And so they would thank me for it. And then I got contacted by Microsoft about a year ago. This was about 2 years into my channel. Their Fresh Paint team, and then my sister told me that she knows someone from Microsoft PR that would like my email address and my YouTube channel. So that was really nice for me. And then I ended up making Twitter accounts for this YouTube channel and Google Plus, just expanding it, everything. And the next thing you know, I noticed, I woke up one morning and Microsoft, or the Surface team on Twitter, started following me. And that was like, oh my God, that was like the greatest thing for me, because I worked so hard for about 2 years, or about a year or so, pushing out videos because I needed to stray my mind away from something of a dark place. Make sure that thing is still recording. But I needed to stray my mind away from a dark place that it was in at the time to something else. And I wasn't even thinking about the recognition or nothing like that. And then the Fresh Paint team first messaged me on YouTube with their old layout where you can message people easily. And then the Surface team ended up following me on Twitter. And then next thing you know, I had the Fresh Paint team following me on Twitter. I had the Surface team following me on Twitter. And then I had some other company, some other group in Microsoft following me on Twitter. And then next thing you know, I started having developers contacting me on YouTube, asking me if I could take a look at their app and tell them what I think about it and what they should fix. So I started doing that, and then it just started blowing up and expanding. It hasn't blown up to crazy standards, but it started blowing up a lot. And so yeah, that's essentially the large bit about how I got to technology and YouTube in general. I kind of skipped a little bit, the part where I started the YouTube channel doing Windows reviews, app reviews. Now I'm kind of trying to figure out what I want to do next. I want to take it up to Xbox One stuff, app reviews, which I'm starting to post now. I want to take it up to Xbox gaming stuff. I want to start streaming on Twitch and doing things. I just want to start doing more things with people, get a community around, and helping people out, developers out, especially with Windows 10 coming in about 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, that's about it. My name is Kweku, and you just watched how I got into YouTube, how I got into technology in general, and what pushed me into molding this channel to how it is now. So if you like it, feel free to tell me, or feel free to give a like, or whatever it is that you can do. Like always, I don't really tell people to subscribe. I don't usually do that because I feel like if you want to subscribe to a channel, you'll subscribe to a channel. That's probably why I haven't gotten too many subscribers. But if you like it, you can subscribe. I don't really mind if you don't, because not everyone wants to subscribe to every channel that they watch a lot. But yeah, so my name is Kweku, and this is Next Gen Windows. I'm the only one that runs it. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.